welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Giannis, this is Paradigm Shift Thought Lash combo. This is a deck that was popular probably like 2-ish years ago. It had a real resurgence, and then it kind of went away for a while. The goal of the deck is just get your library empty and resolve a Thassa's Oracle. Full stop. Nothing else going on here. There's no backup plan. I suppose you could attack for 20 with some Thassa's Oracles, but there's really no other way to win the game. There's no Urza Saga backup. There's no creatures with power and toughness anywhere. We're just trying to shove fast and get the game over with somewhere around turn 3 or 4. To make that happen, Paradigm Shift, exile your library, shuffle your graveyard into your library. If you don't have a graveyard, then your library is just empty after this card resolves. If you have a couple cards in your graveyard, those are now your library. And you have full information about your library, and you can probably get through it pretty quickly. Thought Lash, super weirdo from the early days of Magic. Enchantment with cumulative upkeep, exile the top card of your library. When you don't pay for Thought Lash's cumulative upkeep, you exile your library, and you can exile the top card of your library to prevent the next one damage that would be dealt to you this turn. And much like the Nomad's Encore ability in Cephalid Breakfast combo, you don't have to be taking damage to use this ability. You can just spam it, which means Thassa's Oracle resolves. In response to the trigger, I'll prevent the next 52 damage to me, and now I don't have a deck. This one's a lot more stable. You also can use Thought Lash to absorb damage. Like, I've lost games where I have, like, 2 Delvers and a Murktide Regent in play, and my opponent just exiles 13 cards twice, fogs me twice, and then gets the win together on the third turn that I've presented lethal. Very cool, crazy card from the histories of Magic. And the rest of the deck is just cantrips and digging and protection for the combo. We got some cool new stuff in the deck. 4 copies of Vexing Bauble shuts down free interaction. Kind of a cool main deck option versus grief scamming as well, because it stops them from pitching the grief. And they can still pitch it, then reanimate it, but that's 3 cards for 1 card instead of 3 cards for 2 cards. Vexing Bauble also turns off your Force of Wills, but it's turning off their Force of Wills too, so you shouldn't need yours if they don't have theirs. Vexing Bauble also sits in play as an ability to draw a card if you have to pivot onto the Lab Maniac. There is 1 copy of that, I guess in case your Thassa's Oracles get removed somehow. But this one, you do have to draw a card while your library's empty in order to win. It's not like Oracle that just does it on arrival. So that's another way to just bank that extra step if you need it. A bunch of step-throughs can find the Oracles. 8 enablers. Functionally 8 payoffs between the 4 Oracles, the 1 Lab Maniac, and the 3 step-throughs. And a bunch of ways to protect it and make it happen. Pretty simple stuff. Let's see if we can thread it together. This is Thought Lash combo. I'm on the play in round number 1. I'm going to keep this hand. Island Ponder, right? I have Thought Lash. I have 2 payouts for Thought Lash. 3 if we count Step Through. I'm in the market for a second blue source. Deck plays a lot of them. Hope we can come up with one. We did not come up with one. I'll shuffle that. That was Vexing Bauble and 2 more Lashes. And Moto bugged into a bubble. Delver of Secrets. Come on, Basic Island. We did it. Okay, Vexing Bauble, get in there. Turning off Daze and Force of Will out of this deck. And it does resolve. I think it's important to point out how much worse Laboratory Maniac is than Thassa's Oracle. Because if the Lab Maniac's in play, and you go to draw a card, and they just lightning bolt it, now you lose instead of win. So I'm really trying to win with Thassa's Oracle, though I do have the Lab Man here if I need a backup. I'm going to stick the Lash this turn. Unless they play Spell Pierce, there's not a normally played card that could interact right now. If they had 2 mana to cast Daze, I would have to think about it, but they don't. And we're in there. That means I'm not taking any more damage. Already the As Garfield Intended Fog version, or Fog component of this card, is relevant. They just revealed a Force Negation. I would not be surprised if they shuffle it away. Okay, they didn't. They're keeping the Force. which they can just pay 3 mana for, but that doesn't counter Thassa's Oracle. I'm going to prevent my next 3 damage. Why take damage if I don't have to? Also important to note, Ancient Tomb does deal damage to you. So I could exile 2 cards to not take damage from my tomb. Okay, they are representing this Force of Negation. I'm just going to cast Thassa's Oracle and see what happens. I either win here, or they stop me somehow, and I step through for another Oracle and just go again next turn. Okay, in response to this trigger, here we go. They're going to make me click through it. What do we got? Click, 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 click. I think I want to cycle. Doesn't matter. I could cycle Lorien Revealed for an island, just in case this doesn't work somehow. I think they just want to see my deck, though. Alright, yeah, I'm just spamming clicks. They would need Stifle to beat me here. And I can stop with 4 cards in my deck, because I have Devotion to 4. Devotion equal to 4. And then if they have a removal spell, I'll just eat 2 more cards. Or 4 more cards. Okay, they were F6 for a while, and they just took the stop off. I wonder what that means. Okay, I'm going to stop here. We did it. Alright, sweet. I could have even, before I started exiling, cycled the step through, put another Oracle in my hand just in case they did have Stifle. I could have actually played around that. Alright, Vexing Bauble MVP. Cavern of Souls looks good versus this counterspell deck. I don't think I want Harbinger of the Seas, though that being uncounterable is pretty sick. By bringing in Caverns, I'm probably cutting Force of Negation because Delver isn't really about that. I actually think Lab Maniac is actively bad against the deck with Lightning Bolt in it. I don't even want to have to consider the possibility that I might need an alternate win con versus a deck with removal spells. Though they're probably boarding out removal spells. Lorien Revealed's good. Vexing Bauble was the hero we needed. Yeah, I'm off it. Lab Maniac can get out. Harbinger could smush this deck if I get it down, especially with Cavern, because these are all wizards. Every creature in the deck's a wizard, including these Tamios, which I'm not bringing in here. My land count is up, and my resistance to counterspells is up with this sideboard plan, both of which I like versus the counterspell Wasteland deck. Do I want Harbinger? I'd probably replace a Lorien Revealed if I were to bring that in, and that is another access to basic island versus the Wasteland strategy. I'm not cutting a combo piece. I'm not cutting an Oracle. I could see Step Through coming out, but then I'm down 1 way to tutor for this Harbinger I'm thinking about bringing in. I like Sink into Super, covers various things that might come up. Yeah, I'm not going to Harbinger. Mostly just my main deck, again, with 2 Cavern of Souls added. Okay, I can lead on Bauble. I've got a Shift and an Oracle. Just need land number 4 and we're cooking. They played an Underground Sea and passed. You want a Force of Will Vexing Bauble on turn 1. Sign in memory. Alright, yeah, that was pretty tight. I would rather that be used on Vexing Bauble than on Thassa's Oracle, though. That's actually a terrifying Magic card. And one of the downfalls of Paradigm Shift is that if you have to play kind of a normal game and you don't ram it out quickly, it starts to gum up the works. Like, I could just shift now. If I shift now, I lose to Consign to Memory or a discard spell. Because if I shift now, I draw Vexing Bauble next turn, Cavern Oracle, bang, we're done. But I have no protection of any kind. And we've seen a relevant Stifle effect in their deck. I'm going to send it. This kind of rules. This is what we're here to do. Okay, my deck is 1 card now. Go. Don't have a Stifle in your hand. They're Brainstorming. They missed their land drop last turn. Uh-oh. Blue mana represented. Danger, danger. I will play the Vexing Bauble, because that doesn't affect anything, but might freak them out. Cavern on Wizard. Okay, am I getting stifled, or do I win? Do they play 2 Consigns, and did they have 2 in their hand? They did keep a 1-lander on the strength of something, and they did find the 2nd land just in time to potentially spend 1 mana here. Moment of truth. Uh-oh, it's happening. It's happening! Oh, it's a red mana. I don't think I care about any red card here. Nope, that doesn't matter. 0 cards in my deck. GG. Alright, cool. Just made quick work of Grixis Delver. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2. I've got access to 4 mana Vexing Bauble and Thassa's Oracle. Beep. Tamiyo. Okay. Opponent's on that slow grind. Whatever they're up to over there. Vexing Bauble's in. I have Sink into Stupor now if I do need to interact with some permanent. Blue-white. Alright, Prismatic Ending. Good stuff. Makes my life harder. Drawn 1 card so far this turn. Well, I drew that naturally. What does that do? Doesn't really change anything. Okay, we appear to be Jeskai basic lands. And knowing that they have white permanent removal rather than all counter spells, I could have sequenced in a way that I could bobble on the same turn I play Thought Lash. I am going to get the basic. I feel like I need to play just a little bit more game here. Sink into Stupor is live now. Can start cracking clues. That's good stuff. 4 mana. That is enough to flip Tamiyo if they're willing to go all the way in. And the thing about Tamiyo, though, is that flipping her barely matters. Just not that powerful of an effect. I think I do want to start a fight here. I'll just bounce Tamiyo in response to Brainstorm. And if they do anything to fight over that, it's fine, because that's something they don't have later. And then they just didn't replay Tamiyo or do anything. Preordain. All right, let's go. Let's find some interaction. Force of Negation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm pretty far away from hard casting a Force of Negation. I'll bottom that and take the Ponder. Then I'll cast Ponder. There's a Force of Will. Now we're in business. Do not shuffle. And I have 6 mana to present the full win next turn with Force Backup. One of their 5 cards in hand is Tamiyo. Triumph of St. Catherine, I do not care about at all. You got it. 4 cards in hand, one of them's Tamiyo. That's what's going on over there. City of Traders, Thought Lash. Force of Will pitching Tamiyo. Force of Will pitching Lab Maniac. 2 cards left over there. Let's hope it's 2 Swords to Plowshares. Oh no, the fetch! Don't do stuff. I hope this is just trying to draw with a clue. Okay, they drew with a clue. Moment of truth. Did you find it? Thought Lash resolves. Thassa's Oracle. Ka-chow. And then we spam. Lash away all of my thoughts. And opponent appears to be F6. They're just enjoying a good look at my main deck as I combo out. And I'll stop at 4. And we did it. Cool. Just slow and steady. Chugga through these control decks. Okay. Harbinger of the Seas seems terrible. Tamiyo is for control decks that are likely to board out their removal, but I don't know if we necessarily need or want that effect. This might be an opportunity for a deck building lesson where if you put cards in your sideboard with an idea of where to implement them, but you don't map it out with your main deck, because here I have 5 cards that I would reasonably like to have in my deck versus a control deck like this, and only 2 cards that I'm actually interested in cutting. It's not that Tamiyo drawing a bunch of cards and being a value engine isn't good versus control, it's just, what am I cutting to make room for these cards? This Bauble looks really good. Orin revealed Step Through seemed good. I could cut 1 Step Through for 1 Tamiyo, but that seems like a worse version of card selection. And this deck isn't attacking my mana. They might have Blood Moon or Back to Basics, but they're not going to have Wasteland. What if I just shave on some of the cycling stuff to bring in 2 Tamiyos? I just want to see it in business, see it working. All right, let's try a couple of those in there, even though I do have concerns about the map here. Well, we're going to find out. Honestly, is this Tamiyo just eats a Pyroblast? That is awesome. Because my whole deck gets Pyroblasted. Going to mull to 6. Ponder's cool. We know I love Ponder. All my homies love Ponder. Okay, I now have both halves of the combo. I just need to come up with 4 mana to present it. And we'll see if Tamiyo can help in that endeavor. Jeskai mana available for the opponent. Yep, never cared about that. I literally said it would be great if they Pyroblasted that. And I don't think I care about this either. Mana? We did it. There are no fetch lands in this deck because they gum up the works with Paradigm Shift, so I'm going to be pretty cagey with Brainstorms. Lorien Revealed and Step Through are my shuffles for Brainstorms, and I boarded out one of each. Just good. Good strategy. I think I am going to end step a Brainstorm, try to get something moving around here. Yeah, that's basically everything. Okay. I think I should put Ancient Tomb on top with Island under it. And that way I can ram Thought Lash this turn, try to fight over it. If I lose the fight, I can Paradigm Shift next turn. But the shift is going to be really heavy because my graveyard's going to be full of Force of Wills and Brainstorms and junk. Here comes a fetch land. Cracking Clue. All right, already desperate. Well, that Tamiyo did an incredible job flushing out that red Elemental Blast. Maybe opponent just got a little antsy with that and lost sight of what the matchup's actually about. Because if this just resolved without a fight, that's insane for me. I know my top card is Basic Island, which is going to end up getting exiled by Thought Lash. So there's nothing to do here. It's just going to happen. All right. I would like to pay the cost, yes. And I would like to cast Thassa's Oracle. I have a backup in hand if I need to go again. All right, here we go. It seems to be happening. And I do have Force backup still. They seem to be F6'd again. They could still play and replicate a Consigned to Dream, or Consigned to Memory. Is that what? Yeah, Consigned to Memory, if that's a card they have. So I am going to stop at 4, because Force of Will won't stop that. I do have a backup Oracle in hand to go again next turn. Okay, they did do it with Replicate. Cool. I'm glad we were able to play around it and set up what I could set up. All right, stopped me good. I'm going to go again next turn still with Force backup. Thought Lash will exile 2 cards in my upkeep, then I draw, and I have 1 card left in my deck. Yeah, Consigned to Memory, very cool card. This one was kind of a sleeper on Spoiler, but once you realize everything it actually does, is really good. I've been playing in a lot of decks lately. Very impressed. Tamiyo's attacking. Got another clue. Tamiyo needs to plus once before she can regrow a spell, so I don't need to worry about Red Blast or Consign coming back right now. So I actually don't have to do this. Oh wait, when this dies, I lose my whole library, right? Oh yeah. So yeah, I do have to do this. Yes, I'll do it. All right, Thassa's Oracle, number 2. Can we get the second wave through? Trigger on the stack. Ah, they had another one! All right, GG. And let's just make sure they pay the Replicate. Okay, yeah, the Replicate, really essential there. Cool. All right. Multiple Consigns in the deck. I don't think Lab Maniac solves that problem. Harbinger of the Seas doesn't do anything. Lorien Revealed being my only shuffle for cantrips actually makes me more incentivized to have one of these around. Lab Maniac can't get Consigned to Memory, but it can get Pyroblasted. All right, I am getting off Tamiyo and back into Lab Maniac. This hand's a mulligan, just doesn't do anything. All right, Cantrip Party, keep it. I'm going to bottom one of the Ottawaras, because they're not really helping. Or at least the second one isn't doing anything. If there's a shift, bottom the land, top the shift. Basic Island represented. Another shift. I'm going to ponder first. Okay, there's the other half of everything. Island, and I'm just going to pass here. Or I don't really need that other island. I'm going to preordain now, actually. Bottom island, put Oracle into my hand now. Consign is so scary to play against with this deck. If they just leave up 2 mana, I can basically never actually present a win. That's crazy. Brainstorm. Lab Maniac, suddenly, that's a way to present a win. If I can draw a card. I don't need Step Through anymore, and I don't think I need 2 Paradigm Shifts. Like, having double shift insulates me versus Pyroblast. Yeah, I'm going to put back a shift, and then I can Impulse to clear those cards. Or just take the shift again and clear the other cards. Impulse in the end step. Opponent's just over there playing basic lands. Do I want the backup shift? Step Through doesn't do anything important. If I shift, my deck is full of cantrips. All right, I guess I'll take shift. I'd really like some amount of counter spells. All right, well, there's just a shift straight up. Adawara. If I shift now, I am kind of all in, but shifts can flip shifts, and I could loop through my deck multiple times here. Let's see if they want to put me all in, or if they want to fight over the first one. Deck is all cantrips right now. Okay. One card in my deck, or one card in my graveyard, 5 cards in my deck. They're all card selection spells. Draw 4, put 2 cards from your hand on top. All right, sure. Brain Surge. This is my first Brain Surge spotting in the wild. I know Anzi, MTG, was playing with this card right off MH3. He can't resist anything that could potentially set up a miracle. Meticulous Archive, probably going to be in the worst card. Prismatic Endings out. They have to go to cleanup, discarding Swords to Plowshares. All right, that's an answer to Lab Maniac gone. Preordain gets me Brainstorm and Ponder. Ponder on top, Brainstorm on top. Cast Brainstorm, see all the remaining cards in my deck. Put back Impulse and Preordain. Or did I need Brainstorm, actually? Did I do that wrong? I think playing Lab Maniac and just holding up Brainstorm would have been the way to actually win this game. I might have just blown it. I could put back Preordain Ponder and then just cast a shift. Okay, Preordain Ponder are in there. Then if I shift again, that makes Brainstorm my deck, and it's a 3-card deck. All right, I'm shifting again. This is getting crazy. We are deep in the weeds of what anything you're supposed to do with this deck. Okay, Brainstorm's back in my deck. I think I was supposed to have that available. They've got an end-step Brainstorm for me. Yeah, it would have felt so much better if I had Cavern of Souls. If I can get the Lab Maniac into play, I have a lot of maneuverability. Recycling a Lorien revealed. 7 cards in hand. Ordering up red sources. Pyroblast is my nightmare. I think Pyroblast is actually fine, because I can keep shifting. There are 3 shifts in my 8 cards I'm playing the game with right now, and I can send them like infinite times. Very Time Raveler. That makes everything harder. They minus. Just showing 1 mana right now. And I did draw the Brainstorm. God, that sucks. All right. Well, Oracle, get in there. I would prefer Pyroblast, because then I can shift the Oracle back into my deck. If they stifle it in play, that's a lot worse. Yep. Okay. That's countered. Where Lab Maniac actually would have won this turn. Would have beat that. Like, I still would have struggled with the Pyroblast. Plus Teferi, now they can do whatever they want. I think that Teferi is the final nail here. If I had the ability to create complicated stacks with the Labman plus the Brainstorm, I'd feel like I have a chance, but if they're just doing whatever they want and I can't do anything about it, that's tough. There's a Ponder. There's a Shift. I'm going to attack Teferi and see if they get antsy and kill my Oracle. Because that would be great. Nope, didn't fall for it. Lab Maniac. If they counter this into my graveyard, I can shift and put it back in the deck and try again later. If they let it be in play and then just Swords to Plowshare it, I lose. So if they let it sit in play and I can actually clear Teferi in combat with 0 cards in my deck next turn, the onus is on them to deal with Lab Maniac, because you can just naturally draw for your draw step, and I could Brainstorm if they in response if they try to remove it. It resolved. I just can't beat a Swords to Plowshares here no matter what, so I'm not going to play around it. Fairy goes up to 2. Narset Parter avails. Okay. This minus is a little scary. Days Undoing is super awkward because I can't draw more than 1 card, so that actually sets my Lab Maniac back 5 cards if they were to Days Undoing here. Consigned to Memory. That doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine also. Now they're brainstorming. All right. Game's getting super weird, everyone. I can Paradigm Shift twice this turn, so even if they counter one of them, I can still get the Lab Maniac back into the deck. I'm going to attack Narset. At least get her into a spot where she can't get another card for free. Shift. Get that Lab Maniac back in the mix. Force Negation's fine. Got another one of those. They pitch Tameo. Ah, they have Force of Will. Okay. They found the line. That was a really interesting game that it really did come down to that Teferi turning off my Brainstorm instant speed win that made it wonky. Yeah, really cool game. On to the next round.
Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the draw in round 3. I have access to a bunch of mana, a bauble, and half of my combo. Alright, both halves of the combo. Just on the slow. A Volcanic Island and a Delver. We've seen this before. Vexing Bauble MVP. A Bauble, and it's in. Looks like they floated a blue and then unfloated it. They were thinking about trying to make sure Delver flips with a Brainstorm and then backed off it. Okay, I'm just taking one. They made a land drop. They can hardcast Daze here. I am just going to cycle an island and cast Preordain. Second City of Traders does very little. Is that even true, though? Because that makes it so I don't care if the first one gets wastelanded and cycling for Oracle matters. I don't need Ponder, that's for sure. I'm just thinking if I want the City of Traders or not. I think I do. Alright, cool. End step Brainstorm, that's the one they telegraphed in their upkeep. Delver is likely to flip this time, I think it's safe to say. Delver flipped, revealing Force of Will that they immediately shuffled away. Good job, Vexing Bauble. You did it. I am drawing Wild off the top of my deck. Thought Lash would be a perfectly fine card for me to come up with. Nether Goyf is a 2/3. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Alright, here come the jerks. One card left in hand. This is so many jerks. Look at this shit. That's cool. Alright. I am going to cycle for Thassa's Oracle and then cast Paradigm Shift. We're all in, baby. Okay, I can beat Daze next turn, which is the card that I care about. Okay, one card left in hand. They're fetching 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This Thundering Falls could be worth 4 damage. No, they only have 2 card types. It can only be worth 1 damage. They got rid of Force of Will. Okay, so I don't think I can lose here. If their 1 card in hand is a removal spell, I can draw a card with Bauble and then force that removal spell. Okay, float 2, play City. Thassa's Oracle. 2 cards in my deck. They can't Force of Will. Oracle resolves, trigger on the stack. Lightning Bolt is what they have. I'll let the Surveil happen. And then I'll draw a card with Bauble and force the Bolt. Could have forced it twice. That was a fun little sequence. Vexing Bauble MVP. Okay, Delver again. We've seen this. I'm just bringing in 2 caverns and calling it a day. It is really awkward for this deck right now that Consigned to Memory is so good against Eldrazi, which is one of the best decks in the format right now. Wild to think that our mono blue combo deck is susceptible to splash hate from the colorless creature aggro deck. Okay, Baubles again. I need some lands. I have Brainstorm to look for them, and I boarded in 2 lands, so I'm playing more than I normally would. I will keep. I have A and B. Just need time to execute them. Flooded Strand off on Malta 6. And there is Dragon's Rage Channeler. Shame I'm not on the play. Mishra's Bauble, also susceptible to Vexing Bauble. Bauble on Bauble violence. Taking a look at my top card right away. They're halfway to Delirium. Basic Island, that is exactly what I wanted to see. Bauble's in. Crack in a fetch. I cannot force now. Blocked under my own Bauble. If they come up with some hate piece that somehow disrupts me. Something like Counterbalance, I guess, would be something I'd force a will here. But I'm not able to. They have reached Delirium. They milled over a creature, and this instant's going to get them there. 4/5. So this is pretty fast clock. Another Force of Will, perfect. I'm going to pass. And I think the play here is cycle for Oracle, take 7, cast Paradigm Shift, take another 7, and hope to draw a land in between. If they can come up with 3 damage, either flip a Delver, play a Goyf, bolt me, any of those things, they are just straight up winning the race. They put DRC in the graveyard. That's weird. They could have presented lethal and chose not to. That must mean they have Bolt in their hand. They shuffled the library. I'm going to step through for an Oracle. Goif is 5/6. That did get bigger somewhere along the line here. Land would be great. Did find the land. That means I can shift. Oh, but if I draw a card, I lose because I'd be shifting into one card. Should I brainstorm looking for another land and try to do it all next turn? I think that might be the play. Oh no. Yeah, the Vexing Bauble actually too good. Backup Oracle. That does give me a blocker, but doesn't help my situation. If I put back Bauble and Brainstorm, I could Impulse and try to clear this stuff. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty dead. I could just play Oracle now. Trump the Nether Goif. I think that buys me more time and more life than trying to Impulse into the nuts. Because this also clears those two cards. No, do not put those on top. But doing that cost me the turn that I would have liked to Paradigm Shift. And they did have the Bolt, which is why they milled away the Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to 2 here at best. All right, cool. Double Bolt. Yep, got me. Actually punished by my own bubble that game. Good to know. Harbinger of the Seas could be a fun juke on this deck. If they come out with triple 1-drop, again, like they did the last couple of games, just multiple massive creatures very quickly. I don't think I'm going to try to do anything cute here. I'm just on the play now and going to try to leverage the fact that I have a turn before they do. On the play with a full no-lander. Disappointing. Got a mulligan. I will keep this one. And I have AB. I think Impulse is the worst card in this hand. It started with Preordain. There's a Bauble. It was good in the past, but now they're going to have Pyroblast and stuff. Maybe I'm just wrong about Bauble. I think I have to bottom both of these. Cavern is excellent, though. Okay, that changes things. That lets me shift super aggressively, and if they think that Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast is going to save them, they're going to be wrong. This is the same way they started last game, but this time I went first, which might be the difference. Kept their card on top. A Ponder. I'm going to use this turn to get Oracle into my hand. I really don't want them to know about the Cavern, which means I would love to draw a land, whether I have to ponder into it or just draw it naturally. I'd rather draw it naturally, because I want to be able to pay for days on shift while also moving my game forward and not gumming up the graveyard too much with stuff that's going to make a shift non-lethal. They did achieve Delirium. I'm going to step through for the Wizard. Thought Lash. I could just shift and pass the turn and not play the Cavern. I could force back. Really sucks playing into days, but I think this is my best route to winning. Yeah, I'm just going to shift here. Okay, 2 cards left in my deck. I am going to pass the turn, and next turn I can ponder. I'm going to draw for turn 1 card, ponder 0 cards, Cavern of Souls, Uncounterable Oracle, and then they need to stifle it. And I have 1 Force of Will that can exile Thought Lash to sneak through, playing around Wasteland. Hey! Look at me. Untouchable. Okay, draw for turn. Cast Ponder. I'm going to look at 1 card. I'm going to shuffle because it's funnier. Put on top. Would you like to shuffle your library? Yes. Cavern on Wizard. Okay. If they have the Consign, they win because that card's unbeatable. But otherwise, I have solved the puzzle, including playing around Wasteland. This card's so good! Maybe they'll accidentally counter their Dragon's Rage Channeler Surveil. Nope. Alright, yep. Splash Hate from Eldrazi wins another match. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set,
and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables.
I'm on the draw in round 4. I'm going to keep this. Island, island, ponder, ponder, keep. Opponent's on a mull to 5. That's a little terrifying. Eldrazi, here we go. Lotus Petal. Sucks to be on the draw. Vexing Bauble. Put a Shadow Realm this hand. I think I'm just going to ponder at this point. Vexing Bauble is not going to be important versus this deck. Force of Will might be. I'm going to put Force in my hand. And Preordain on top. 5 mana available, 3 cards in hand. Chalice of the Void. Well, that blanks my whole hand. My deck can play through this card just fine, but not the current setup that I have. If I just had Shift Oracle in hand, I could ignore that. But Preordain on top, Bauble in hand. Preordain's going to bottom the city that's on top of my deck, and then we'll see some other cards. Okay. Bottom city, top Shift. Ancient Tomb. I'm going to play Bauble and pop it immediately. I'm just trying to see more cards here. Draw. Just cycling. Another Bauble. I have Shift, but my graveyard is getting pretty robust. The Shift won't necessarily be a kill quickly, even if I do find an Oracle. 4 mana. Thought-Knot Seer is actually good now because I have the Shift. It's going to be my turn to bring in Consigned to Memory, though. That'll show you. Okay, I'm going to cycle this Vexing Bauble again. Life total be damned. Draw. Haha! That Thought-Knot Seer did its job. Lotus Petal. And me with 2 baubles in my graveyard. Looking foolish. That's a joke. That doesn't matter right now. Okay, they didn't do anything. Otawara plays pretty well here. I'm going to play City of Traders to try to take a little break off my life total. And my plan is to take 4 from Thought-Knot Seer, end step Otawara it, draw 2 cards, hope they win the game. Wasteland got me good. Taking out the Tomb, okay. I go to 7, and then I bounce the Thought-Knot Seer, draw a card, hope for the best. The best is Thought Lash. I think that's the best card I could draw. Force of Will, not bad though. I guess I'm passing the turn, force the Thought-Knot Seer, pitching Force, and then continue to move forward. City of Traders a little awkward. Missing the land drop, not able to hardcast the Force of Will. Opponent's been sitting on 1 card in their hand for a long time. It makes me think it might be something like Kozilek's Command, which hasn't really had a reason to do anything yet. So they could have just, like, scryed 4, drawn 1 that turn. Okay, here's the Thought-Knot Seer. Here's the Force of Will that I just drew. We're at 6. Time to start the rally. My next 2 draws in order are going to be Thought Lash, and I'm not going to be disrupted. Repurposer, this makes a 0/1 when you cast it. That's fine. Okay, Thought Lash, best draw. Thought Lash, best draw. Thought Lash, best draw. Alright, I think I just take 3, and Thought Lash is still my best draw. I can't afford to use Thassa's Oracle just to select for some cards because I need to find A and B, and using B to find A and B. It's the boat meme. Could be anything, even a B. Flesh Raker. This does represent lethal for sure. It's weird they left up mana. Thought Lash. Alright, GG. Okay, I mean, we were in that for a while. It was a timely Thought-Knot Seer that got us. Consigned to Memory coming in. Harbinger of the Seas coming in. Definitely this time. Force of Negation doesn't matter. Vexing Bauble, real bad. I guess Force of Negation could counter a Chalice of the Void, but I don't actually like this card. This is a really good map, though. 4 cards in, 4 cards out for Eldrazi. Compared to that control matchup where 5 cards in, 2 cards out. Didn't work. I like this way better. Okay, let's do it. It's kind of inbred, but maybe I'm supposed to bring in Consigned to Memory versus blue decks too, because Replicate is a triggered ability, and that at least creates a situation where I could counter the Replicate with my own Consign, and then Force of Will the base Consign, and shove an Oracle through. Reopen mana. It's asking a lot to make that all happen, but it might be necessary. I will keep this. It's got the Thought Lash, which is, I think, one of the best cards in the matchup. Leyline of the Void, fascinating. That just helps my paradigm shift. So they mull to 5 to find a Leyline. Yeah, okay, deal. Land Ponder. I don't need Ponder. I will take the land that gets the Thought Lash on the stack. Now I'm just trying to find an Oracle. Functionally a 3-card hand over there, with a little selection to start the game. Exiled Micah Spawn, Lotus Petal, Leyline of the Void off, Devourer. Chalice would be disappointing. Petal, Tomb. 2 cards left that aren't Devourer of Destiny. Okay, cool. I'm going to start with Brainstorm. So I have Lorien revealed for the shuffle. Oh, well, that's just everything. I'm going to put back... Oh, wait a minute. If I put back Oracle Thought Lash, then the Thought Lash will eat the Oracle. I'm going to put back Island Thought Lash. Or I could go Island Oracle and Thought Seer can't take both lashes. Yeah, okay. Island Oracle. And I will try to win the game turn after next, even through a Thought Seer. Forest. Flesh Raker. 1 card left in hand that they can cast. Okay, sweet. This one's looking good. They have to kill Thought Lash somehow. Or if they Oracle me Thought Knot me now and take the Oracle, that would be bad. Look at this art, though. I love how she's speaking in mathematical symbols. She's just like, blah, Greek alphabet. And a 5. The number 5 and some Greek alphabet words. Okay. That's what happens when a little shop of horrors comes out the back of your head. Thank you for this, Mark Tadine. Also illustrated Ponder, by the way. MVP. Goat, 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 goat. They do have the Thought Knot Seer. What a tilt. I could start exiling cards to prevent this damage. I mean, might as well. Basically, we're just talking about RNG of accidentally exiling an Oracle, which I don't think matters or does anything. Okay, so they have to take Oracle this turn, or they lose. And then I have Brainstorm or Lorien Reveal to dig for another one. Oracle's gone. I took the one this time. I don't know why. It's weird, because it kind of matters, but also doesn't. Alright, I'll prevent these damage. Exile to Step Through, that would have won me the game. Can't think like that, though. Because that also just could have been any other card. Alright, Exile to Consign. That one would have been bad. Alright. Full randomonium here. I would like to use Thought Lash's ability. Draw a card, it's another Thought Lash. I'm gonna Lorien Revealed. I think that's better than Brainstorm. Like, the Brainstorm, if I draw Oracle right now, I could have just won with Brainstorm, but if I, as did actually happen, just draw a bunch of cards that don't shuffle or win the game, the Brainstorm's way worse. I can also counter Thought Lash's exile your deck when this dies clause with Consign. Repurposer, I don't care about. I think I am just going to take some damage. So this is 4, 5, 6 damage. I can exile for future damage. All their deck does is damage. The consideration would be if they could kill Thought Lash later, but then I could just exile 7 cards in response and still take 0 that turn. Yeah, it's fine. I'll take it. Okay. Exile these cards. Draw for turn. The 4th Thought Lash, Brainstorm. Thought Lash can clear the Brainstorm cards too. Okay. Instead, we just win. What a relief. Put back these lashes. City of Traders. Step Through. Took some work, but we got there. Thassa's Oracle. Like I was saying, Thought Lash definitely the best card in my deck in this matchup. I guess I could have had up a blue instead of Ancient Tomb. Like, one of their cards is Devourer of Destiny. Yeah, I don't know if or how that would matter. I think Kozilek's command is target player scries X and draws a card, so I do actually have to stop before 0 cards, which I think it's just correct to do anyway, but they do have a card that can kill you if you're empty. Cool. Alright. They figured it out. They were dead. I believe this is still my deck. There's nothing better happening, it's just worse because I'm on the draw. I could bring in more forces if I'm worried about specifically Chalice of the Void, but I don't think that I am. Okay, I have a fast send. I'm going to keep. I'm not disrupted at all by Chalice. So Paradigm Shift is actually a huge liability if they have Leyline and Kozilek's command. That's actually a combo that turns off Paradigm Shift as a victory lane. Herald. Alright, colorless spells that cost 7 or more, cost 1 less. Basic land pass. And Kozilek's command plays at 2 mana. Like, they could just tap Ancient Tomb, make me scry 0, and draw a card. Just thinking about all the ways I could get blown out here. If they Thought Not Seer, I'm going to Brainstorm in response. Best case scenario, I find Force. Worst case scenario, I hide my combo. Here comes a Repurposer. This card seems so mid. Is that really the best thing Legacy Eldrazi can be doing? And I don't know. I'm not being judgmental. It's just like, that just doesn't seem like a good card to me in the Legacy card pool. Okay, everything is here with Force backup now. Just have to decide how I want to execute it. They have one card left in hand, and I have Force of Will. So if I just send it, I can force a Kozilek's command, turn around and win. If their top of their deck is Thought Not Seer, I lose though. But they would need Kozilek's command and Thought Not Seer for that to be a problem. All right, I'm just putting the lands back, redraw the island. So they can 7 me twice. If I take a turn off, that actually changes the whole clock. Yeah, I'm just going to shift and hope they don't have double banger. I can beat a Thought Not Seer or a Kozilek's command, but not both. They didn't command me in the end step. Good news. That was really good sequencing holding that back until I committed to the combo. Pitch, Lorien. Okay, we did it. The cards that they're showing me don't deal enough damage and don't disrupt me. And draw the last card of my deck. Play the Thassa's Oracle. And unless I am completely blind to some onboard interaction, this should do it. We got the GGs. Okay, and we beat the player who's not allowed to play Consigned to Memory. On to the final round.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I am on the play in the final round. Positive record on the line. I'm going to keep my hand. I have Ponder, I have Interaction, I've got Bobble, I've got half my combo. Let's try stuff. Whether to lead on Ponder or Bobble is really interesting, because Bobble does blank 2 of the cards in my hand. That resolved without any thought at all. Let's hope there's a Stompy deck full of Chrome Moxes right now. Cavern of Souls. Naming what? What deck plays this card right now? Merfolk. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay, so Bobble doesn't matter. Ponder first. There is a Thought Lash. I like that. And then Preordain can clear the card I don't want off Ponder, which is Step Through, and it can give me the other Ponder. And now we're just chugging our way up to 4 mana. Oh. A Swamp and Cavern on Merfolk. What is actually happening? No way Doomsday would keep this hand, although they might play these cards. Is there some weird new Merfolk that I don't know about? A Ball Ritual. Oh my god. Wow, it is Doomsday, and I Vexing Bobbled myself. Alright, got me good. Got myself. Weird. What a strange situation we find ourselves in. Okay, I blew it. Importantly, though, with this weird spread of lands that they have, they need to put a blue mana in their pile for the Oracle. And it can't be Lotus Petal or Lion's Eye Diamond. And if they're going to do any cantripping, the cycle of cards all work, because they're not spells under Bobble. Just going to screenshot their deck, or what I can get of it here, and we got some One Rings in here, Lion's Eye Diamond in exile, another Thought Lash on top, not really what I want. Ponder. I actually am going to take Lorien Revealed, because lands are the best thing I can be doing right now. Yeah, if they just cycle a bunch and then play an Oracle, I can't really win. I could force this Brainstorm right now. Okay, I'm going to draw a card off Bobble and force the Brainstorm. Force of Negation, exiling one of my many Thought Lashes, which does give away my deck, but it's the correct play. And now they suddenly have a Lotus Petal. I could have forced that too. I'm just going to lose next turn, though, if I do that. I'm going to hope that the Oracle is more than one card down in their library right now. Okay, might not matter. Duress. Oh, okay. Yeah, locked out by my own Bobble. Doomsday resolving while I have Double Force in hand. Super embarrassing. It gives and it takes. It was really good in some matches, and it is blank in other matches, and it's an active hindrance in other matches still. I got a lot of sideboard for this, though. Took the Force after some deliberation. Veil of Summer, draws a card, 1 card left in their deck, and exactly the mana to cast Oracle next turn. Force doesn't matter. Brainstorm. Yeah, none of these matter. Okay, GG. And quickly boarding out the Vexing Baubles. Bringing in these Force of Negations. And these Consigned to Memories, countering Thassa's Oracle Trigger. Who can play that game? I think Harbinger of the Seas might actually be insane. I don't need Lab Maniac. Don't really need Step Through. It's not really about speed. I'm the control deck here. Could even cut an Impulse, though Step Through is probably worse than Impulse. It makes my Brainstorms worse at shuffling. I don't think I want Surgicals. Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this. Just become a control deck. Okay, Force, Ponder, Oracle. I'll keep it. I would like to start the Pondering. That's a paradigm shift. I will draw the Island and leave Shift on top. Misty, Petal, Dark Ritual, a Force of Negation, the Doomsday, and then just try to send my own win. Okay, they had a Daze. That's a bummer. We might just lose. Yeah, I mean, getting turn 1 with protection from Doomsday just kind of is what it is. Doesn't really matter what deck you're playing. If I didn't Ponder, Daze wouldn't have been on, but then I also wouldn't have found my combo. I also could have mulliganed more aggressively into a Consign, but I had double Force. I don't think I'm gonna call that a punt. Just, it is something I could have done different, but I don't necessarily think it was wrong. Yeah, they've made their pile. I'm not going to try to figure out what it is because it doesn't matter. I'm just going to cast Paradigm Shift and hope I don't die. Wow, they had the Force too. Force and Daze. Yep, we were never winning this one. Got him! Card advantage. Yeah, I don't think I know my top card right now. Oh, yeah, I did know it was City of Traders. Shit. Son of a biscuit. Yeah, I don't think they're going to pass the turn twice with this pile, but if they do, I would like to get some card selection. Leave Ponder on top of the library. It is slow pile into Consigned to Memory or bust. Looks like we're dead, though. All right. You got me. Okay, some cool stuff learned here. This was the first deck I've played with just 4 Vexing Bauble in the main and attempting to use it. It was pretty cool a few times. I think it was instrumental in beating Delver twice. Or did we beat Delver twice? Or did we get Stifled the second time? I don't remember. It was instrumental in beating Delver at least once. It was completely blank versus Eldrazi and had to come out, and then it cost us the game versus Doomsday. I also could have just not cast it, but this format being full of Lotus Petals and Griefs and stuff, when you're on the play, sticking Bauble seems mostly like a good idea if you can. There aren't that many faster combo decks that also don't care about Vexing Bauble in the format. Like if it was Storm, I would have been happy to have the Vexing Bauble down against Doomsday. But this is a card that we are still exploring as a Legacy community. The real thing learned in this league, though, is this card is really bad if you're a Thassa's Oracle gamer. Counter target triggered ability, and you can spam it a bunch of times. It's resilient to counter magic. I wonder what this is going to mean. Does that mean Thassa's Oracle decks lean much heavier on discard spells rather than counter spells to protect what they're doing? Do we just hope Eldrazi falls out of favor so this card is less popular? Should I be bringing in my own consigns to counter the Replicate trigger? Should we be playing Flusterstorm that could fluster all of the copies once the Replicate trigger resolves? Definitely an issue to solve here. This is the most played any Stifle variant has been in a very long time. And I don't really expect it to go down because Eldrazi's really good. Those two things aside, this deck still shoves pretty hard. You get some really cool games. I thought that game where I paradigm shifted like 3 or 4 times and kept trying to grind through their counter magic was really cool. We ended up losing it, but that was just a very fun and interesting play pattern to me. Thought Lash, just awesome that a combo piece is also an unkillable fog wall against anyone who's trying to deal damage to you. I don't think Lab Maniac is necessary. If it is necessary, maybe put it in the sideboard. Though it is a very costly and awkward juke around Consigned to Memory, if specifically that's the hate piece they have. Very cool deck in a pretty awkward spot, getting splash hate from a completely unrelated deck. But a lot of fun to play. That's where I'm going to leave this. Giannis, thank you for sharing it with us. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.